Well, if I were up here for applause, I wouldn't need to do anything. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So we're going to get into biomimicry today. Anyone familiar with what that is? That's me trying to look like Bill. I have my plan. Good job today, guys. Fortunately, I've always had a keen interest in nature, no matter where I lived, in whatever areas of the country or the world in which I found myself. And nature is just, to me, so fascinating. We have these little guys that are really pretty by themselves. They're called stellar jays. But they are interesting characters because they can make themselves sound like red-shouldered hawks, to the extent where they will oftentimes scare up other little birds to reveal their nest, and then guess what? Biomimicry has worked once again. Of course, you might not think that to be such a keen thing, but it's amazing how nature is just so full of evidence of how to be successful. Another interesting insect that I find to be just fascinating are butterflies and moths that have these great big eyes on their wings. For another animal that would be maybe looking for an easy meal, see that big eye, they're going to think again. Because that eye can be sometimes big enough to daunt their approach. So here we are, and we're involved in a very fascinating time in which to live life on planet Earth. Use only the energy that you need. Live simply so others can simply live. Now, Gandhi is quoted for having made that statement, and it holds true today. And fascinatingly enough, historically, healthy cultures that had the idea of accumulation of private property beyond one's own need, people were considered to be mentally ill. Does that say anything about today? It's fascinating that the programming of today isn't just on having what you need. It's on amassing, accumulating. More is never enough. I mean, what do some people do when things are a little troublesome or irritating? They go to the mall, for God's sakes, and buy. Do they have the money to do it? Absolutely not. What are they doing? Putting themselves in debt. Do they realize it? They don't want to. So again, look at this and see. Use only the energy that you need. If you look at nature, you're going to see that nature is prolific in its expression, but also is very, very good about using only the energy that it needs. Here we are at a time in our seasons called spring, when we're moving away from where everything was drawn in, gathered together, and now it's beginning to burst forth in its expression. It would seem that nature has no limits to what it can express. But if you look at it more closely, you're going to see that all of this amassing, this amount of expression that's bursting forth, is energy that's been recycled. It didn't just come off of some other planet. It isn't as if the earth is saying, okay, this is it. I'm going to just bust a gut and that's all. After this, no more. Absolutely not. You see, this really is a major key to biomimicry that all of us can benefit from. You look and you see the encouragement is to recycle everything. Recycle everything. Recycle everything. That's including your mastery. I catch you by surprise? What was that? Mastery? Do I have mastery? Or recycle my mastery? You mean I've got to let go of it? Pay attention to life. Look at how life works. Soak it up. Squeeze it out. Cleanse. And then repeat. So in living your life, soak it up. Soak it up. Oh, goodness me. And then squeeze it out. And then cleanse. And repeat. How much simpler can you get? You don't have to have 1,001 things going at once in order to be successful in life. If you look at what nature is revealing, you see that this type of biomimicry is so valuable. Because you see, we as human beings, we have that capacity to mimic nature. And in the mimicking of it, to actually benefit from our mimicry. One of the keys to living a healthy life is definitely the ability to recycle. Take it in. Enjoy it for what it is, or for whatever it's teaching you. And then let it go. So many times I have people come to me and say, oh my God, I had just the most wonderful time in my life, and now it's changing, and I just can't let it go. Failing to realize that holding on to it is working against what your higher nature is saying to you, and that is, hello, time to let it go. Good. Process that. That's really good, you see. And then another aspect of nature that is so clear. And yet, what's going on today on television right now? I bet you there are at least 50 different sports things going on right now. At least. And this isn't even the prime of any season. We are not at the finals of anything. But what this is revealing is our brain-dead approach to cooperation. We see competition as being so much more valuable than cooperation, when the fact of the matter is, that is so contrary to the natural order and the way things work and work well. Even Darwin, when he wrote The Descent of Man, he mentioned twice, the survival of the fittest, and the word love 95 times. And what do you hear about Darwin? Survival of the fittest. Okay? So survival of the fittest wasn't really about competition, which is the idea that's been given. That's just a myth. You see, survival of the fittest is based upon cooperation. It's based upon the ability to adapt and to overcome. That doesn't sound quite like the same as what we are witnessing in our society today. In a culture where competition, taking, and hoarding are higher values than cooperation, sharing, and gifting, the culture is a dead thing. We live in a fear-based way. We live where competition and paranoia and rampant security based on insecurities are the norm. Look at how we are so easily manipulated and controlled by creating these illusionary fears that then cause everyone to feel, oh my God, we've got to do something to be more secure. And guess what? They have a plan just meant for our security at the cost of our integrity. And if you think competition is such a great thing, you might want to look again and see that it is really something that has been trumped up and made to appear more than it actually is. So, those of you who have children, don't encourage your kid to grow up and be some athlete, for God's sakes. Think about it. What would you be doing something like that for? Have them become a professional football player. Hi, Mom. I'm doing really well. My head doesn't work too good right now. And I may sound like I'm 84, but I'm really only 26. A number of reasons. Here's the next thing that I want to bring up, and that is diversity. Diversity. The way we are programmed in our society today, it doesn't have anything to do with diversity. You are taught, programmed, trained, and educated to go out and be able to do one thing and do it well so that you can bring home the bacon. But when the fact of the matter is, that isn't the way nature works and works well at all. Diversity is the optimal healthiness within nature. Think about it now. Whenever you find a species becoming extinct, it's because it has not developed a capacity for diversity. Something has come along and interfered with its programmed way of surviving, and it is doomed then to extinction. Since we are nature, it behooves us to respect the diversity inherent within our own makeup. So my encouragement is to you, instead of putting all of your nuts into one hole, spread them around like a squirrel. I have seen squirrels in my backyard. I've seen them at the ranch. They don't bury everything that they find in one hole. They bury it in a number of places. And do they always remember it? No. Is that one of the reasons why we have trees? Yes. But that's because they will bury a nut that is a tree in the ground, then forget where it is, and sure enough, later on, we have a tree that springs up. And the squirrel, will it survive without that one nut? There's a really good chance. There's a really good chance. And the same is true with you, you see. I'm encouraging you to take this and take it to heart so that you allow yourself to open up and be more diverse. Okay, now here's the last little ditty. Let's see if we can get this together. Are you ready?
Yes.
Oh my God, I should have. Just a minute now. Muy bueno. Okay, so what am I getting across here? Am I selling more cow products or what's the deal? Okay, this is masks bring you to life. Now, Oscar Wilde, very, very wise person. You liking this? Okay, Oscar Wilde said, "Man is least himself when he talks in his own person. Give him a mask, and he will tell you the truth." So look at nature. Nature disguises itself. It actually hides its secrets behind appearance. So look at this and think about it now. You try to be the same you every day of your life. Look at all of that you're wasting. Look at all that talent that's just going. Hopefully it's going into fertilizer, yes? Okay, so here we are, and we're learning that biomimicry is really something in our favor. Hey, that's enough of that back there. Okay, so again, let's look at our evolution. Because you see, where we are at this time in life, we are involved in a big evolutionary push. And it is a time where we need to use our imaginations so that we can actually get in there with that key of imagination and unlock the secrets that life is wanting us to see so that we can go forward and accomplish the variety of many things that we can do. So open yourselves up and begin to look and see that biomimicry is a pathway to definite enlightenment. So take this to heart. And enjoy yourself. That was a little biomimicry of Frank Sinatra. Okay, everybody, thanks so much.
For more information about the Metaphysical Church of Enlightenment or the Rodin Foundation, please go to our website at www.rodin.org. If you have been inspired by the revelations shared in these podcasts, please donate to the Rodin Foundation's ongoing efforts to help others help themselves at www.rodin.org/donate.